To experience Semana Santa in San Miguel de Allende and the Bajío region is to feel the full force of Mexico's Catholic heritage and the deep hold it has in the hearts of her people. All over Mexico, Holy Week and Easter are celebrated as significant religious holidays. Processions, altars, and passion plays reenacting the last days of Christ are performed in several cities. These traditions go back hundreds of years. The events of Holy Week in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, actually begin 2 Sundays before Easter, during the Señor de la Columna procession. In the middle of the night, residents along the procession route create elaborate religious-themed murals made of flower petals, sprigs of chamomile, coffee beans, and colored sawdust. In a procession of thousands of people, this life-sized figure of the beaten and bloody Christ, leaning on a column, is carried throughout the night from a shrine in nearby Atotonilco to San Miguel. The statue is very old and molded from traditional Chichimeca materials like corn stalks and powdered orchid bulbs. When the Señor de la Columna procession concludes, the community works together to clean up, and all traces of the elaborate street art disappear in minutes. The last Friday of Lent is when the Virgin of Sorrows is honored with beautiful altars in private homes and public places. All of the more than 40 public fountains in San Miguel are cleaned and filled with sprigs of chamomile and fennel, fresh flowers, as well as blossoms made of purple and white paper and gold foil. The religious purpose of the day is to remember the Mother of Christ in her desolation as she sat at the foot of the cross, watching the crucifixion of her Son. Most images of the Virgin show her with tears on her face, her hands clasped at her breast. Although the Night of the Altars costume dates back to the Spanish colonial times of the 1600s, today the practice is only found in the state of Guanajuato and the Bajío region. In the days before Palm Sunday, vendors, many of whom are indigenous Otomi people, sell palm fronds woven into dozens of beautiful and fantastic shapes, hearts, fans, crucifixes, and more. On the day itself, there is a feeling of celebration as people commemorate Christ's entry into Jerusalem. There are 2 processions today. One begins at the Calvario Chapel and features local people enacting the roles of Christ, his apostles, and other figures from the story. Amid shouts of "Viva Cristo Rey!", the procession continues to the Church of San Francisco. Another starts near the Parque Juárez and makes its way up the narrow street of Diez de Sollana. As the people pray and sing on the way to Mass at the Parroquia Church. On Holy Wednesday, the churchyard of the Oratorio fills with angelitos, young girls in pristine white dresses adorned with feathered angels' wings. The tiaras and flower rings on their heads represent their halos. They are part of the somber Señor del Golpe procession that begins and ends in the Oratorio Church in Centro. They carry pillows holding crucifixes and other symbols of their faith. Next come the elegant and colorful statues of the saints that emerge from the church on only this one day of the year. Finally, the statue of Christ emerges from the church, masses of white Easter lilies at his feet. The processions wind through the streets of the old town. Bearers' steps are slow, a mournful cadence, and the crowd is reverent as Jesus passes by. On the afternoon of Good Friday in the nearby city of Querétaro, men are busy making last-minute preparations to some of the statues of Christ and Mary that are resting temporarily in and around the Templo de la Cruz. These men are the members of various religious brotherhoods, and they will silently carry and accompany large platforms with religious images throughout the streets. The procession of silence originated in Spain and dates back to the 13th century. It is widely practiced in Spain, but survives only in a few Mexican cities. The brotherhoods participate as a form of penance. Their faces are covered, and some even walk with chains attached to their ankles as they carry crosses of mesquite wood for miles through the streets of the city. The procession in Querétaro features over 1,000 penitents called Nazarenos from over 20 different brotherhoods. Each fraternity is characterized by the color of the tunic they wear, as well as the capirote, the characteristic hood. Other participants include angelitos and women in period costumes carrying symbols of the crucifixion. La Procesión del Silencio is a profound and compelling event to witness. There are no processions on the morning of Easter Sunday, nor are there colorful bonnets or Easter egg hunts. Many families attend Mass in the morning. But things pick up in the afternoon when the burning of the Judas' festivities begin. In San Miguel, dozens of these brightly colored 6-foot-high figures of papier-mâché and crepe paper, their waists wrapped in firecrackers, are strung on ropes across Calle San Francisco. Like many of the Holy Week traditions, this practice started in Spain, where carpenters would make wooden dolls representing Judas that would be hung and burned in town squares to punish the unfaithful disciple for betraying Christ. This evolved in the current tradition, where life-size Judases made from paper mache are dressed and painted to resemble contemporary political and public figures, who are not exactly beloved by the general population. After the event, any of the heads that have not been blown apart are auctioned off to the highest bidder for charity. The traditions of Semana Santa are part of the rich cultural tapestry that makes the Bajío one of the most interesting regions in Mexico.